Kia ora, and thank you for taking the time to watch an overview of the Marlborough Sound's Future Access Study engagement. Through the Marlborough Sound's Future Access Study, engineering consultancy Stantec has used the community's feedback and technical criteria to assess a range of potential future transport options, and then propose an emerging preferred option for each of the 5 areas of the Marlborough Sounds. In this video, we'll explain how and why the study has arrived at an emerging preferred option for the Kenepuru area. We'll also explain what a longer-term hazard adaptation pathway could look like. Adaptation is a journey, a series of steps. The emerging preferred option can be considered as the starting point of that journey. The hazard adaptation pathways would follow a significant future event that causes substantial damage to the transport network. Such an event would be a trigger for Council to assess the level of service provided by the network at that time. The estimated cost of the repairs for the 5 emerging preferred options is $160 million. We don't know yet what the cost for Marlborough's ratepayers will be, but we have estimated that using different government assistance assumptions. While we hope that the government, through Waka Kotahi, will fund much of this, Marlborough ratepayers will be asked to contribute, and that could be a significant proportion of the cost. The engagement document has information on how to calculate your potential additional rates costs based on implementing the emerging preferred options at different Waka Kotahi subsidy rates. For example, for most Marlborough ratepayers, if the land value of your property is $300,000, your additional annual rates increase could range from $213 to $523, depending on the level of subsidy from Waka Kotahi. That's why we want to hear your feedback on the emerging preferred options, the long-term hazard adaptation pathways, and the other options explained in the engagement report. Please read the engagement report and go online to fill the survey. The more information you give us, the better informed we will be about how the proposed options support a safe and resilient transport system in the Sounds. No decisions have been made yet, and your feedback on these options will help the decision makers take your views into account. Now let's head to Kenepuru. Currently, Kenepuru Road to the heads and its side roads, including Moetapu Bay Road, are restricted to residents and emergency or essential services only. The section of Kenepuru Road between Linkwater to the heads and its side roads has severe storm damage, and its entry is at resident and emergency or essential services drivers' discretion. Restrictions also apply on Kenepuru and Moetapu Bay roads, and they are as follows. No camper vans, or buses. Only 4-wheel drive and light vehicles under 3.5 tonnes. No vehicles of more than 8 metres in length are allowed on Kenepuru Road between Moetapu Bay to the heads. The emerging preferred option for this area is balanced. This option indicates that restoring some form of road access is justified, and there is merit in some improvements, such as to stormwater and maintenance. However, over time, the Kenepuru area will become more dependent on the need for a robust adaptation plan and marine infrastructure. This is due to the likelihood of severe disruption in future due to the range of hazards and emergency events. The road between Torea and Portage would be strengthened. The roads north of the Kenepuru heads would receive targeted improvements, although there may be an increase in the number of one-lane sections and vehicle length restrictions may be implemented. Kenepuru Road between Linkwater and Portage would also receive targeted improvements, with potential for an increase in the number of one-lane sections. Only essential repairs would be completed between Portage and the heads, and on Moetapu Bay Road. On Kenepuru Road, between Moetapu Bay Road and the heads, and on Moetapu Bay Road, there is potential for length restrictions to 12.6 metres and weight restrictions to under Class 1 in the long term. The cost estimate for this emerging preferred option is $60 million. In the engagement report, the hazard adaptation pathway for this area is called Marine Focus. Roads are only repaired to provide access to the nearest marine hub. There would be investment to protect and upgrade the primary hub marine facilities at Havelock and Picton, Torreo and Portage, which are arterial hubs, and Double Bay, Fish Bay, and Punga Cove. A new arterial hub would be developed near Galta Bay. Local marine hubs would also be constructed as needed. Passenger services between Havelock and Kenepuru Sound would be introduced 3 times per week, and passenger services in Totaranui, Queen Charlotte Sound are as existing. A twice-weekly freight service between Picton and Torreo would be introduced, as would a scheduled freight service between Havelock and Kenepuru Sound. Routes and their frequencies would be subject to consultation. The cost estimate for this hazard adaptation pathway is $40 million. So now, we want to invite you to tell us, what do you think of the transport options? You may live in the Sounds, own a property or business in the Sounds, be a visitor or a Marlborough ratepayer. By July 11th, we want to hear how these options will affect you. Your feedback will contribute to Waka Kotahi and Council's decision-making for a viable future transport network in the Sounds. Thank you very much for listening and watching, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. Mā te wā.